Way back then, you were born a king, but we live in a generation right now. We live in a society where you can just, by producing videos, by doing something with your life, by becoming a multimillionaire, by becoming a well-respected man, you can become a king by that. So you can achieve everything you want to achieve. It is not about ruling anymore, but more about ruling about yourself. So if you're focusing on yourself right now and putting everything you can into the best version of yourself, you will become a king, because you can only lead, not rule, but lead other people if you lead yourself every fucking day. And I will give you 3 steps on how to become a king in this short video, because I think it's very important to not only become a warrior, not only become a fighter, but also become a leader of your own life. You have to take the responsibility for your parents, for you, for your siblings, for the wife you're going to have, for the kids you're going to have, for your brothers, and for everybody around you. That is your responsibility. And that is what a king does. It is about authority, vision, strength, and all of these things combined. And the first step to become a king in this generation we live in right now is presence. Law 34, Power Book. Behave like a king to become a king, to be treated like a king. And that's something you have to understand. And that's why it is so important to have a certain type of presence, a good body, good manners, know how to behave, walk, talk. It is not about thinking that you are better than people, but thinking that you are better than the old version of yourself. It's always a fight against yourself, against the villain. The villain is just yourself. It's not always about opponents, because if you're not in a state right now where you can focus on yourself, already making money, already having a body, you are not fighting against other people. You got no opponents. The only opponent you're fighting against is your distractions, you watching Netflix, you jerking off, you chasing dopamine hits, you not doing the shit you want to do. So the only enemy you got right now is you. Focus on that, man. Now analyze the behaviors you had before and now. You was that insecure guy, okay? Did not really know what you want to achieve, very sad, depressed. Analyze that and change it into a king behavior. So now you do the shit you want to do. You behave like a king. Even though you're not a king right now, you can change your whole presence by just thinking that you are a king. It is always about the mindset. The first point is the presence. And the presence is that you change your mind into believing that you are the king, walking around like you're the king, and walking around like you are better than not other people, than your version of yourself, the old version of yourself, or that you do not give a fuck who is better than you. That is very important. Pretend that you are a king and you will become a king, and people will treat you like you are the king. It is always about the way you see yourself. Think about it. You go into a bar, into a club, you go into a school, into the classroom, and you're walking around like you don't give a fuck about yourself. You don't have a good presence. You don't go to the gym. You eat junk food. How could you not possibly think that anybody will respect you? You can't. But if you walk into the classroom like you are the G, like you think you are the king in your own world, and you're very confident, if anybody wants to test you, because people will test the king always, then you're just being relaxed and you don't act, you respond. You think about your things. You think about the thoughts in your head, and you realize that everything that person wants to test me about is their own insecurity. They don't understand why you are the king. They don't understand why you think you are the better. They don't understand, but it is built in silence. It is the things that no one sees. If you go to the gym, eat clean, if you build your business in silence, and no one sees it, then everybody will ask you, or will ask how you get that confident. It is about the things you do when no one else is watching it. I'd already talked about point number 2. In a world full of attention, where everybody talks about their problems like they're your friends, and everybody wants to get something, it is very important to not act from emotional places, no, but respond. That means that you think about the things you do daily. If someone is insulting you, you don't punch that man right in the face because you don't want to end up in jail or you want to get punched back. No, you think about the fact why that thing makes you angry. That is what a king does. Because now you can analyze yourself and see, okay, it is a place of my insecurity because someone insulting me about me being fat is because I am fat. Analyze it and then change it. Respond with intelligence and overthinking. Overthinking is an art, there's a gift if you use it right. If you still do the shit you want to do, overthink about actions. It's also called analyzing yourself, then you can act on that. And number 3 is discipline, because just like I said, your foundation of your confidence that will make you feel like you are the king is your discipline. It is the things you do. is the things you do when no one is watching you. So the whole point about being a king is about knowing that you earn it by being disciplined. You were not born a king. You were not born rich. You were not born strong. It's a curse and a blessing. You know why? Because the fact that you were not born a king is very, very good for you. Because think about it. Way back then, you were born a king and you had no choice. Nowadays, we got the attention, we got social media, you got the power. But the only way you will become a king is not by being born in it, but by being disciplined to become one. Use these 3 steps right now to become a king. But why we talk about becoming a king? I'm MC Mindset Masculinity Coach, and we're going to talk about your mind always. That's my topic, the mindset. Because I think if you want to achieve something, if you want to get confidence, if you want to get that car, build that business, build that body, get that wife, you have to change your mind. You have to increase your testosterone. You have to increase your masculine mindset to get masculine success. Because masculinity, becoming a man, it's the way of the man. It's just about taking responsibility over your life. And the first step is to being a disciplined man and walking around like you are the king. Because confidence will build off that. In silence, in action, in discipline. Do these steps and you will become the best version of yourself today.